All right, Jose.
Jose,
It's your time.
let's go, brother.
How are you guys?
Hey,
We're at your castle here,
this is
your palace.
How's it going?
good, man. How are you?
Very good. Sean, Matt?
All right.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. You ready to get going?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. We're here with the first podcast of the day at Content Madness, powered by Lacava Coffee. We got a great guest to kick us off. We have Jose.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Jose
having me.
Olivia. So Jose is the owner here at Lacava Coffee, which we're powered by and sponsored by. We thank you so much for having us and letting us hang out here and take over Lacava Coffee for the day. We appreciate it, and we want to make you the first guest in the first episode and give you that honor. So.
Guys, it's my honor. It's my honor to be participating with you guys. You have a great thing going on. You guys are passionate and actually very happy to be part of it. So thank you for having me.
Sweet.
Of course.
So how did you get into the coffee business? How did this all? Why coffee? How did you get into this world?
Guys, I'm from Honduras, and Honduras is a big producer of coffee. Honduras actually it ranges between the 5th and 7th largest producer of coffee in the world. I grew up in a small town where 90% of the economy was coffee, so basically grew up into the industry, participating, seeing it in all aspects, where actually most people don't know everything that is behind basically having a cup of coffee, from like the production, harvesting, how difficult it is. So when I moved to the States, I always wanted to do something with that. Logically, it took me some time to get there, but because I wanted it, because I was passionate about it. I always wanted to do something that it connects me to my home country. And finally, I was able to open this fantastic coffee shop in Westchester, Pennsylvania. We're looking forward to, we definitely working hard. I personally go to buy the coffee to Honduras and buy like micro lots. So it's really cool to be dealing with the farmers guys. It's just the coolest thing. Going up to the mountains, trying the coffee up there, and roasting our own coffee in Honeybrook, Pennsylvania. So we're very proud of what we're doing here. We sure are.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
That's how, guys. That's how I got into it. I'm from there. I'm from the country who produces coffee, and I love coffee, so why not?
Yeah, I think it would be super interesting to hear a little bit more about like how coffee is actually produced, because I feel like that's something nobody really knows.
Totally. One of the things that I want to do with this job and with this real estate, meaning the space and the ability that we have to be in Westchester, is to actually teach people a little bit about that. Coffee is actually not an easy process. Coffee is being harvested. Basically, they range it from like 15 feet to like 4 feet high bushes, and they create these. They develop these cherries, as they call it, and it's a manual process. So far, it's not a machine who harvests coffee, so you need a lot of labor, and the conditions are typically not as easy because they're up in the mountains, inclined areas, and all by hand, grain by grain. So this is the type of process that a lot of people don't know about it. We expect to think about a machine who just goes and harvests, but it's a lot of labor involved, and then the process just begins, which is it's actually a more extended process than the actually roasting and serving it. It's a lot more behind it. Within that process also takes quality. If a farmer has passion for what he does, the result also gets transferred into the actually bean, and we enjoy the results. Process meaning, guys, it needs to be washed, it needs to be fermented, it needs to be dry, either by the sun, which is kind of like the nicest way to dry it, because when it comes out of the grape, it's very slimy. So it needs to be washed with clean water, and that's why if the farm, when it's being harvested, they typically have access to spring water, which washes that away. And if they use in that quality water, the bean just becomes more clean, and it never gets affected by, let's say, exterior flavors. And that's just one of the aspects. And also after that is the drying process. The drying process is because the bean needs to be dry. And in order to do that, there's a couple of options. One is the most, let's say, environmental friendly. They call it sun dryer. They make these beds and they put plastic cover and they let the sun do their job to dry it. People they just move it, from the top to bottom until it gets dry. And the other option is the industrial machines, which does it fairly quick. But the other option, it takes more time. Depends on the volume, depends on the farmer, but the quality definitely, if you dry it by the sun, the quality of the bean is just higher. It doesn't get tossed around as much. It's just more settled. It's the best way. But getting access to those coffees are very exclusive, and of course the flavor gets transmitted along the way. The States, I would love to get the passion that I have for it. I would like to be able to transmit that passion because other countries, like I know for a fact that Japan, they love their coffee. They love it, but they love it in a level that is hard for us to understand it. They literally take time, and just like a side note, guys, I met this Japanese guy a couple of years ago, and he's like, you know why I have so much passion about coffee? I said, no, tell me. I said, he actually mentioned that he does that every day. I said, I drink coffee every day. And I consider that I'm the most important person within my life, he said. I really care about myself. And I drink coffee every day. And I was just drinking whatever, he said. And it means that I was mistreating myself. It's something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Why not do the best I can? For me, it's for me. And he put a perspective on me where I'm like, what is those things that we do that we're not taking pride of, especially if it's for us. And it was kind of cool to kind of get that perspective. And that has been one of the many factors that encouraged me to do this and to do it the right way, to do the quality coffee, to have a nice place, to have a friendly staff, and to offer the highest quality coffee I can get.
Sure.
We've definitely, Matt and I had a couple cups here. And
I remember the Americano. You guys remember that?
Americano.
You got me hooked on that.
Right?
I think you got Matt hooked on that too. That's
the new go-to.
Yeah, I mean, drink coffee. I understand it. Settle. It's a filter coffee. It goes basically to a paper filter. An Americano, you need an expensive machine typically to extract the flavors of the coffee and basically just add water to it. So you get a more pure essence because it has not been mixed with the paper filter mainly. Or let's say being in a thermo or things like that. Basically, it's the extract of the coffee diluted with water. And you can dilute it at the level people want it, more strong, less strong. But to me, it's the best way.
Yeah, that was. I remember seeing that like when I was overseas and stuff too, and I thought it was like they were making fun of us, like Americano.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna get that. But you couldn't get like a drip coffee either. Some of the, depending on the country you go to and stuff. So that was like kind of the go-to thing. I'll get an Americano.
Totally. That's usually what they do is they do the extraction with an espresso machine, and they do it like that. And and every country develop his taste for it. And some countries they have a lot of more, let's say, taste for stronger coffee. Like Europe would be one of them. They really love short, more concentrated coffee. So everybody has their own taste, which is it always fascinates me because we heard about French roast, Italian roast, Italian coffee, French coffee, and it's funny to me because I'm like those countries they don't know what coffee is. Like they've never seen a tree of coffee in their life. Like it's all the coffee gets imported for particular regions in the world. Coffee is very meticulous what it grows, but it's incredible how these countries they develop the culture. Italy mainly. Most of the most popular drinks come from Italy. Like the language that we use is Italian for the majority of the drinks and recipes, and that goes throughout the world. The names are mainly Italian and a little bit of French in some of them, because they basically developed the concept of the modern way we drink coffee. That is a fact.
That's cool.
That's kind of like the way they develop the machines, guys. The espresso machines, the highest quality machines are Italian, but yeah, they don't produce coffee.
At the end of the day,
isn't that funny, right?
You're getting it from your hometown and your. Mm-hmm. So what is your hometown and like? Were you? I guess you're just like you had to be almost in the coffee business. Sounds like.
So
like
yeah, my family was.
Grew up with it.
My family was in the coffee business. I actually was growing up since I was very young, going up to the farms, helping, getting up very early in the morning because one of the jobs it actually is kind of cool because part of our job, it was gather the people from the town, we're talking about 15, 20 people, get in the back of a pickup truck, about 12 people in a small pickup truck, right? And full of people in the back, and going after the mountain about 4:30 in the morning.
How big of a mountain are we talking here?
So it depends on the ones that my family, I believe they were 850 meters above sea level. And which is a good question, by the way, because that reflects the quality of coffee. The highest the coffee form is, the highest the quality. It has something to do with the density and when it's higher, the bean becomes more dense, so absorbs more flavor. So actually it's a classification for, it's called HG, high grown coffee. It's a terminology.
I've seen that. Yeah, I don't think I knew it. I thought that was something else. Maybe. Yeah,
and that's where it comes from. Very small town, 5,000 people. That's the size of my town. It's a lot more now.
Sure.
That we're talking about going back almost 20 years ago. But going up to the mountains, people goes up there and they harvest. It was an excellent environment, beautiful environment, because everybody was just going and make some money. They get paid by the amount of coffee they harvest. But the environment, it was nice. And the reason I'm saying it was nice is because it created an environment because it was around Christmas time. So that gives the ability for people or for anybody to be and make some extra money. Let's say sometimes they can just want to go in the weekends. They can have a regular job and they just go up in the weekends to make that extra money for Christmas. So they can have, a little bit of extra money for the families. And because the season is about 2.5 months only, basically it's just the harvesting time. But the families, definitely, it was a big help for them to get some extra cash and for their families. So my town, the economy, 90%, meaning throughout the year, they either work in like commerce, like regular commerce, but the big and most important part of the town, it was around Christmas time. Then you get to see people, you see the business thriving, you see the pickup trucks going up and down, getting this, repairing. I mean, that's because that's when the cash starts flowing, it was very significant. The rest of the year, it was maintaining the properties, maintaining the fincas, as they call it, fertilizing, cleaning, and whatnot. And it still is. Still today, of course, the town developed other industries. Like my hometown is in Honduras. It's the center part of Honduras. I was born in the largest department, as we call it down there, of Honduras, and it's on the center. My hometown now is also involved in harvesting wood. They're very good carpenters. They make fantastic doors. For some reason, doors is the main thing over there. They make the highest quality with precious woods doors. They're beautiful. They even carve some doors, guys. It's incredible. It's so gorgeous. I wish I could have access to one of them for my house here.
Yeah.
They actually carve the door, and they can.
That's crazy.
Some people put their last name on it. I mean, they customize it to a really nice degree. Of course, with precious woods that they last. We're talking about mahogany, which is Honduras produces one of the highest quality mahogany, cedar, a lot of nice ones.
I don't think I realized that.
I never knew that.
I don't think I ever knew that. Yeah.
These precious woods, especially back in the days, it was one of the biggest things. Precious woods are the worst asset. Precious, definitely, guys.
So why Westchester? Why did you pick?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Area, and what's your connection to the area too? Like, when did you move here?
So that's a very good question. Westchester and we have a special connection. When I moved to the States in 2004, I actually moved right to Westchester. I used to live right by the university. And it was such a fantastic time. I got such many fantastic memories and how fantastic this town is. And I just remember moving here around May, and I loved the town. Never been in the States before. And I had a bicycle. I used to just ride to the gym and just ride around on my bicycle. It was the nicest thing. I mean, I literally rode my bicycle through our entire town. I knew going to like YMCA all the way from the university. And then I moved still in town for another 6 to 7 years. And then, once my family got bigger, I purchased a property, but I moved to Honeybrook, Pennsylvania. So since then, I started operating, and then currently that's where I live, in Honeybrook. But that is special connection that I have with Westchester and how familiar I was. Westchester, I had my first job, and I developed. I still have many friends who are native from Westchester.
Yeah, that's special.
That connection, it was established. And when I started looking for real estate for the business, so it was incredible because I actually hired a person who did to do the search for me, and he sent me to I had ideas where, right? So they sent me to Malvern, Wayne, and so on. I looked at like 3 or 4 properties, and then he showed me this property, and I'm like, I just felt it. I felt that it was just meant to be. I'm familiar with Westchester. I'm familiar with the area, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to shoot for this. It was the most challenging one, FYI. It was not the easiest decision. It was all the properties that they were probably the way and the setup they were more appropriate. But the connection that I established with this particular location, it went above and beyond. And I felt the connection to be the pilot coffee shop, because we definitely wanted to expand. We definitely want to open more. But that connection that I established there, and again, it was the most challenging property to work and to develop the first coffee shop. But I took it, and so far people is responding well. People love the place, and we're only looking forward. So that's why Westchester.
I love it.
Great, great. Could you actually talk about that process of opening a coffee shop? Because that's super interesting to me.
Definitely, guys. So I definitely have a lot of ups and downs into that. I'm very passionate. I'm very effective. I have experience as a contractor myself. So in that aspect, I didn't feel any fears in terms of the construction and developing. I would wish, and this is something that is important for anybody up there, got to do your homework. Got to do your homework. For me, it was not easy. It was not easy, but mainly it was the legalities with the community, the legalities with the local government. I believe that they could make it a bit more, I'm not going to say friendly, but they should be more responsible and efficient, just like they expect from all of us, and just like I expect my customers expect to get quality. I expect to get quality from companies like that. So it was a lot of, let's say, delays, rather than intentional, rather than were not intentional. But that was my biggest challenge, is to navigate through these expectations and legalities that they're not explicit on many occasions. So that's why being diligent and not as impulsive probably as I am is a good thing. Do your homework, research into you understand completely. You get suck all the information before you go and act upon. It was a process of learning, which is very important, because now I'm definitely very knowledgeable. I have actually way too much, because I needed to try to one angle, the other angle, to see which one worked, and it was the first one, so I understand it. But I would say that it was, in simple words, guys, it was not easy. It was not easy, but it's a process that is important, so you can value your business, so I can say it's not easy to have this. It's not easy. It's very complex. But we did it. We did it, and I'm proud of how it came out. And the knowledge that I acquire is fantastic. The friends that I make in the town, the people who end up helping me, to develop these. I work with many local companies, for architects that were local, plumbers that were local, electricians that were local, cleaning companies that were local, and also the hiring process supporting, local students. That's also, to me, something that makes me very proud. But it has been a learning. It has been a big learning experience, and not coming from the industry, and coming basically, the only knowledge that I had, it was coffee, but the actually retail part of it, it has been a learning experience in which I'm happy to have it now. I'm happy to have it now and to actually navigate through it.
Well, I'm happy you did it, and
Yeah.
you're here. And,
Right?
I mean, you definitely got the coffee part down, that's for sure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's all amazing stuff. So we actually have a lightning we call it like a lightning round of questions.
Uh-oh.
So we're gonna hit you with here.
Go for it.
So the first one, since it's March Madness and it's the basketball games, but it haven't started yet because this is early. This is our first episode. Did you fill out a bracket? And if so, who do you got winning?
I actually, no, I don't follow it. I don't follow it. I'm just a player, guys. I'm just a player. I think when I met you guys before, I'm like, I love sports. I don't follow it. Definitely the coffee shop had me pretty busy, per se.
True.
But yeah, that's one of the reasons I have not been following it.
Or do you have a team? Do you have a go-to team? I know you don't follow, but do you have a team you're like, I want to see this team win? Or
guys, I guess I'm gonna feel very old right now, but I used to die literally for the Chicago Bulls. Okay. Guys, you have no idea. Like, if I would have had a jersey of this guy, I mean, I would do anything for having a jersey of them. That was basically when I stopped following basketball. It literally was at the time of Michael Jordan. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. I feel old right now. I stopped following, but back then, doesn't matter what it was. I think I even lost classes just to watch these guys as missed classes and whatnot, just because I want to watch the games. Very passionate about basketball. Very passionate. Playing it, mainly.
Fair enough. All right, next question. So you own a coffee shop, but what is your go-to coffee order?
So that's a very good question. And that's something that I also would like people to kind of, it's what I'm learning now that I own one, that you basically can choose whatever you want anytime and then a given point, which is a lot of caffeine. One of the things that I found out, guys, is I do it by the occasion. You see, that's what it makes it kind of nice. And even when I'm behind the register, I get the chance, and I look at people looking at the menu, and I try to interact with them and say, let me ask you, what do you like? What do you like? And I'm trying to customize the desire and the circumstances. So sometimes in the morning, for example, when I know I'm going to be doing a couple things or going to go in a meeting, I like an Americano because it's a 16 ounces, the smaller one, you can get up to 20 ounces. So you'll be sipping in a warm drink that it will allow you to be comfortable while you have a half an hour to an hour meeting. So that's something that I take in consideration, what am I going to be doing? Sometimes, I'm walking around and I just want something warm, but I don't have the time to be sitting. So I go for like a cortado, which is like a double shot of espresso and some warm milk. And I put a little bit of sugar on it. But that, I drink it fast. I only have 2-3 minutes, so I drink it fast. And so on. Then if I have a little bit more time, a latte, cappuccino, just give me a little more time as well. So it depends what I'm doing. So I'm trying to customize it basically to what I'm doing, which I think is kind of cool though. Yeah, and not necessarily one.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Next one we got is, I think you might have answered this one already, but let's make sure that what was your first job?
Oh boy, that was a good one. I always been very outgoing. Not afraid, definitely not part of me. So it was interesting because I remember my bicycle and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go look for a job. And I remember my English was just not good at all. I actually had a little translator calculator that you actually write the things in Spanish. And it translated for you, but it's like a calculator. I wish I could come across one of those. I don't know what I did with that.
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, these things are incredible. I mean, back then, man, like 20 years ago, how they did that? Anyway, I was at Penmark Coachwork down, what is that road back there? Penmark Coachwork. It's basically going up to Route 3. It's a body shop. And I remember going in there, and I say, they were hiring. I recognized we hiring. So I went in and remember talking to the manager, and he started asking me questions like, so what do you know? What's your experience? I'm like, anything, I said. Everything. I remember saying everything. And they laughed. I said, everything. What do you mean everything? And then they started to narrow it down into like a settled question, and the guy is like, all right, you know how to wash cars? I'm like, yes. You know how to like use machines like, I don't know, like drills and whatnot? I'm like, yes. You know how to change a tire? And that's the only one I understood. That's the only one I understood, because the other ones I was just saying yes, honestly. And then when he said about the tire, I'm like, change the tire. Like, yes, I know. He's like, you hire. And I'm like, okay. Never forget, $6 an hour. And basically it's a body shop. They paint cars, you know, from insurance claims and whatnot. And I didn't know how much I got hired for at the time. And that day, I remember I watched like 20 cars that one day. I watched the manager, the secretary, the owner. I mean, it was incredible, but I loved it. I was so passionate about it, and I still am. And everything I do, I put passion. I give everything I got. And then I remember they were giving me $6 an hour, and I learned many things there. One of them, it was, start knowing people. It was the perfect opportunity to start practicing and getting my English better. I understood basically the work ethic in the United States. I understood many things that it was quite different for me, because it was actually my first formal job in the United States, and it was good because I got the time to learn slowly and not in like a fast-paced environment. It was basically, you do your thing, you do your work, you perform, and it was good because I got to learn many things. So, first job, Penguin Coach work, Westchester, Pennsylvania.
That's cool.
Sweet. Next question here is, what is one fact about you that most people wouldn't know?
One is that I'm very good at basketball.
Okay.
A lot of people is like, I remember when I moved to the States and I started meeting a lot of other Latino guys, and they started inviting me to play soccer. And I'm like, I don't play soccer. I'm like, what? They go like, what? You don't play soccer? I'm like, yeah, I actually play basketball. I'm like, what? They didn't. So it was that was kind of like a curve. So I love basketball. I guess that would be the one. I will play in it. I love everything about it. And I think that would be one.
Awesome.
We didn't know that. When we
Right.
did the March Madness video, we want. But I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Next one we got. What's your favorite cuisine?
Oh, now you're talking a very interesting subject for me because I'm passionate about food.
Okay.
I love to cook.
You're a foodie?
Right now, I'm a foodie. I definitely am. I love to cook myself. Right now, I'm going into. I love Middle Eastern food. I love Indian food. I love Mexican food. I love Honduran food.
You gotta give us one
All right.
favorite.
Yeah,
One
so
favorite.
One favorite.
One right now, I would say.
It's the go-to. You have one meal, last meal of your life. You get one meal. What cuisine we going?
I think I would go for Indian.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a good choice. That's a good choice.
It's the way I describe it's an explosion of flavors in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
It's a good way to
what?
say it.
I can't even explain it. It's a lot of flavors. I didn't recognize any of them. Honduras has a very bland cuisine that we don't use spices. We base our flavors on the actual ingredient itself. We're trying to extract the flavors from like the tomatoes, the onions, the garlic, and that's how we get the flavors to the meat, to the rice, and whatnot. And of course, Indian cuisine is they provide and create the flavor through spices. So for me, being so different, it really attracts me. And in general, Middle Eastern food, I think is just fascinating. Yeah, Asian food. Yeah.
Great. And then, so final question here. What is your go-to restaurant in Westchester?
Ooh. So right now, I've been using a lot. I've been going to, it's called, if I'm pronouncing it right, never knew exactly how you pronounce it. Ran Ramen.
Yo.
No, you're right.
And I've been experiencing it. I find out that it was not only the ramen, which I actually had them all and do a great job up there. But now I find out that they actually have other dishes. I actually had a customer here. He was from Japan, and we connect with the guy we were talking. I said, let me treat you out to lunch. So we went there. I treated him up to lunch, and we went up there, and he ordered a chicken curry. It has a name. I don't remember. But it's like a fried chicken, rice, but it has like a curry sauce. It has a particular name on it. I didn't even know they had it on the menu, right? But And the guy ordered that, and I'm like, that looks really delicious. I didn't know they have other stuff. And so yes, their menu is quite eloquent. They have some barbecue, chicken and beef that is also fantastic. So yes, that is my place to go, guys. They have a fantastic thing. Their menu is very extensive.
All right.
You gotta try. I gotta try that. I haven't been there yet. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have to go.
So, kind of, did we hit 30? Are we cutting off? Okay, so we're good. To kind of just wrap this up, is there anything you want the listeners to know, or about Lacava, or yourself, or anything to kind of just...
Well, definitely. First of all, guys, thank you for having me. I do appreciate it. Having get it going.
You're having us.
Yeah.
This
is your spot.
We appreciate you letting us be here. And
thank you, though. Well, we pretend that it's about you guys. You having me. I'm in the red couch, which will make this guy famous, which I think is cool. We're doing great work here. We put in a lot of passion. It's a lot of people who is involved. There's a lot of dreams involved in this business, and having the opportunity to show the coffee, to show the passion, to talk about all the things that we have done in Westchester and the reason of our coffee and whatnot. We are very proud. We are very proud. And that's why I'm very proud to be in Westchester. I'm very proud to be in this industry. And I want people to know that we have great stuff. We have great product, guys. I mean, we're doing great work. I'm about to go to Honduras to start basically purchasing more coffee. So all those things are just, it's a passion. It's a passion. I want to make sure that I get the best so people can get the best. And it's just the beginning. Lacava is definitely moving forward. We're definitely looking ahead. We have great expectation, great projections, and whoever wants to be part of these, we're always here to talk, and we're always here to move forward.
Yeah. I think anyone that watches this will definitely understand where the coffee's from and how Lacava, the whole company and yourself, and just to see the behind the scenes and where you've grown up and where you've gotten the beans.
Totally.
And now here in Westchester, I think it all kind of makes sense, and it's unique to Westchester. This is an awesome spot. We love it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, guys.
All right. Well, if you haven't yet, definitely swing by Lacava Coffee. Come get a cup of Joe from Jose.
Americano.
No, the best coffee ever. The best coffee in town.
It is. Best coffee in town.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it for having me.
All right, of course.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Of course.